Ready to begin, are we? That's the spirit. So then, your mission is to investigate a crystal robbery and a spate of abductions. Crimes which we believe to be connected. Assuming we're correct, it's like that any discoveries we make in relation to one will further our understanding of the other. Now, since the attack on the caravan, our friends at Amagina and Sons Mineral Concern have doubled security over their shipments. In light of this, it's my judgment that the abductions should be our priority. According to our preliminary findings, the majority of the missing were last seen in the vicinity of Camp Drybone, so that would seem a fine place to begin. A fellow by the name of Eisenbard serves as the camp's de facto leader. Pay him a visit and see that he gives his full cooperation. I'm Eisenbard, here to search for the missing folk, I take it. Minfilia sent word that an adventurer fitting your description would be along. She also warned us to be wary of the emulsion. It seems we know who the culprits are, at the very least. Now, I bear no official title at this camp, but the people here have come to look to me for leadership. You have my word that I'll do all I can to help see the victims safely returned. Let's get right to it then. Minfilia names the emulsion culprits in all this. You would do well to investigate them first. Much harm has been levied on these lands by the emulsion hands. The flames burn where they might, but their light cannot stay the darkness in all places at all times. There have been brutal murders of callers at the church of St. Adama Landma, innocents wishing no more than to pay their respects to the dead. The poor souls deserve a proper burial. I would see to the deed before mongrels catch their scent, but I know not if the emulsion still linger. Would you secure their remains for me, friend? You'll find them on the eastern road. 12 willing, you may even come to learn something of what the emulsion seek in this area. It's good to see you returned. Were you able to secure the remains of our fallen? With the bodies given back proper to the earth, the souls will find their way across to the other side. You've done a noble deed this day, I thank you. Now then, what of the emulsion? Did you see any? Surely such massive monstrosities as they cannot conceal their presence, much less their quarry unawares. Ah, so there were emulsion remaining after all. I feared as much. Their part in the lowborn disappearing was all but confirmed, but I sense there is more to this than meets the eye. The occasional emulsion raiding party would not account for people going missing in these kinds of numbers. The total is too great and the questions too many. It would not surprise me in the least to learn of another hand in this. But whose? Countless travellers pass through Drybone every day, and even if it were one among them, how would we best discover who may be implicit in these vanishings? What say we turn an eye to the common folk themselves? It may be among them that we find the reasons for these vanishings. 12 forbid it be so. There is a merchant by the name of Ungust who was born here in Drybone and grew up in the Golden Bazaar. A rough character, but he knows the people here better than anyone. I'd wager he's at the inn, quaffing away the day's earnings. Here, I'll write a note for you to show him, else he's not like to speak to you. Well, gods be damned, you're that bloody adventurer who threatened me back in Uldar. What in the seven hells do you want with me now? Dear friend, missing people, please help. Yours, Eisenbard. Folk around here are as wary as they come. They'll turn tail and run if you so much as pass wind nearby. Played them all for fools and coaxed some hard labour out of them, I did. If anything, they're even more timid than before, what with all the disappearances. You can go talk to them yourself if you don't believe me. Please, miss, just leave me be. I've nothing to say but this. Thul take who or whatever's been feeding off us low folk. What do you want from me? I don't know anything, I swear. Please don't kill me. Just as I told you, wasn't it? The whole lot of them are terrified. There's been talk of folk getting abducted, but if you ask me, they simply up and moved on to a better place. This place isn't exactly Costa del Sol, if you know what I'm saying. Welcome back. Have you learned aught of import? I see, I suppose I should have expected as much from Ungust. Well, another thought occurred to me in your absence. The common folk are nothing if not fervent in their religious beliefs. Perhaps if they speak freely to their gods, then the clergy may know something of use. If we would know what the common folk speak of to their gods, we've no better place to ask than that of the church of St. Adama Landama. It's a small and humble church found to the northwest of here. And so long as you're headed there, might I ask you to deliver this embalmed corpse? A morbid request, I grant you, but it must be borne to burial, and I trust none more than you to see it done. Seek out a man named Mark. He tends the graves of the Lich Yard. He'll tell you where the body needs to be interred. I'm Mark, yes. A body, of course. There have been so many bodies of late. I apologise, miss. If you seek a place of burial, then there is an empty grave atop the ridge. Take the path and lay him to rest there. May they all walk in Thol's realm. What, missing people? I'm afraid I can't help you, but maybe Sister Orson can. She's been kind to me. Everyone has been so kind. I don't know why, though. Pardon me, you'll find Sister Orson within the church walls. I hear you've done us a service of burying a fallen soul. Please accept our gratitude and extend it to Isambard when you next see him. You seek knowledge of missing dry bone inhabitants. It's true I'm closer to the people than any of the Order. I confide in them and they in me. When they wish to speak to their keeper, Thal, I'm the medium through which they do. Should I learn anything pertinent, I'll be sure to share the information with you. I only wish Mark would be more helpful in the matter. I pray he did nothing to offend. He saw terrible things during the calamity. His scars run deep. Indeed, he seems now to prefer the company of the dead over the living. While tragic, I fear such behaviour ill benefits the church. I received word not long ago that one of our recent visitors, a man called Thancred, I believe, took offence at his conduct. I must have words with Mark, and soon. Thank you. A burial is no easy thing, even when the departed is a stranger. Were you able to learn aught of the missing common folk? You've been keeping yourself rather busy of late, haven't you? A pleasure, my dear Isambard. The name is Thancred, and I share a passion with you and our mutual friend here for the learning of what has become of these missing persons, and why. I too spoke with Ungust, more times than I cared to count. There seems to be some truth to this notion of the common folk speaking their secrets only to those in service of the gods. Prostration, prayer, penance, abject deeds done behind closed doors, away from prying eyes. Who better to take the pious unawares than she who takes confession, the good Sister Orson herself? Orson, she wouldn't, she couldn't. Even the most beautiful roses have thorns, my friends, and you would be wise to keep an eye on this rose. Still, the Lich Keeper, Mark, I'd swear to the 12 I'd seen that face elsewhere before. Sister Orson, it cannot be, though she is wont to travel to the Golden Bazaar on her own, and it's not uncommon to see her speaking to the children, but no, it couldn't be, could it? I grow weary of these suspicions. I know there's one child in particular that she's fond of. Pray seek out the boy and see if you cannot glean something from him about Orson's activities. Please help, Sister Orson went out on her own and hasn't come back. She always reads to me right here about Thal and the Order and the other side. I told her I lost my shiny thing and she went looking for it, but what if the monsters outside hurt her? Please find her. You're the one from the church. Thank goodness you arrived when you did. It seems my gratitude is yours yet again. You spoke with the child. Yes, well, I was able to find his lost trinket. It's a ring given to him by his mother before she passed. I'll see it safely back to him. Sister Orson was attacked outside the Golden Bazaar. Gods forfend. I'll secure a room at the inn for her should she require any rest. Searching for the mementos of orphans, and risking her own well-being in the doing, no less. Certainly not the dastardly deeds Thancred would have us believe. I am well glad I reserved that inn room for Sister Orson. It seems she received greater injuries from her attackers than she initially let on. Thankfully she is expected to make a full recovery. But now on to the matter at hand. Thancred came looking for you once more. He left word that he will be waiting at the Amorgia encampment to the southeast. I pray the two of you are able to uncover some evidence regarding these disappearances. Ah, there you are. So good of you to come. Indeed, I've heard all about good Sister Orson. Isambard said her wounds were serious. It would seem my suspicions about the poor rose were misplaced. But false though they were, perhaps my suspicions were not entirely without merit. Whilst following Sister Orson near the Golden Bazaar, a band of Amorgia caught my eye. I tracked them as far as this encampment, but well, let's just say that I would much prefer to keep my distance and remain here. This of course brings me to why I requested you. Would you be so kind as to take a look inside? Well, did anything tickle your fancy? This leaflet, see the wealth of Nold to the hands of your children. It looks to be some sort of assembly to provide the poor with work. The lettering, though, atrocious, is it not? And these bits about Nold Thal seem somewhat less than studied. I find it hard to believe one among the Order penned this. Pray take this to the inn at Camp Drybone. Let us see what Sister Orson makes of it. My saviour comes again. To what do I owe the honour this day? What is this? Blasphemous. These are not our teachings at all. This was not made by any true brother or sister of the Order. Of that I can assure you. Come to think of it, weeks ago the church was plagued by missing garments. Could someone be posing as a priest of the order to deceive the people? The plot thickens. Our culprit pretends to be a priest to lend credence to his deception. There's no doubt an irony in there somewhere. But I suspect we have a worthy adversary on our hands. I shall consider how best to handle this. For now, tell Eisenbach what we have learned here. Posing as a priest, to think. These troubling notions aside, it's gratifying to finally be able to move this investigation forward. Thank you once again. I should keep my eyes and ears open, now more than ever. I'm afraid I've not seen any usual activity, nor have any at this camp given me cause to doubt them, but unless we can identify the culprit and soon, more innocents will fall victim. Do not despair just yet, my friend. An idea occurs to me. Our suspect has been posing as a priest, using leaflets bearing false promises to lure the poor. Let us serve like by posing as impoverished souls in need of succour. I dare to hope that this will yield us the answers we seek. It will be a dangerous undertaking, but you two are more than capable of looking after yourselves. I'm next to useless in a battle, but I can supply the garments for the disguise. These old tunics and slops should serve your needs, so long as you don't mind the smell and the stains. These will serve very well. You have my thanks. Listen, so as to lay the foundation for our little ploy, we must make it widely known that the vagrants have arrived at camp and are desperate for coin. To this end, I want you to don the old garments Eisenbach has lent us and beg for work around the camp. Before long, the false priest should catch wind and approach us. You have quite a knack for being a nuisance. The camp is abuzz with talk of newly arrived vagrants. And though we were unable to attract our wayward transgressor, we were able to learn that the poor have a commune by the pond north of Sandgate to the east of here. The eyes of the authorities do not reach that place, rather ideal for spiriting away hapless souls. Let us go there and wait for the kindly priest to come and offer us aid and comfort. Needless to say, you'll need to remain in disguise. A fine evening for catching false priests, wouldn't you say? You look absolutely smashing, positively dressed for deception. All that's left then is to wait for our quarry to appear. Oh, you poor unfortunate souls, this is no way for men to live, no way at all. Who are you? What do you want? Be at ease, child, for I mean you no harm. I'm a priest of the order of Nold Thar, and I come to offer you succour. This leaflet bears the teachings of Nold. Trust to them, and they will surely set you free from the shackles of penury. A tempting offer, but I'm afraid I must decline. On account of that atrocious performance, you would have made a god's awful mummer ungust. What? How did you know? You bastards tricked me. Please don't hurt me. I was only doing it to protect my people. Is that so? Do continue. Very well. I'm a man of the Golden Bazaar, raised there, if not born. Some moons ago the Amalja raids began. They would appear sudden as a sandstorm and plunder and pillage at will. Our defenders couldn't stand against them, few as they were. Everyone lived in fear. I wanted to save my people, but being a merchant was all I knew, and so I did the only thing a merchant could. I approached the Amalja in hopes of brokering a deal. In return for sparing the Golden Bazaar, they made demands, outrageous ones. Demands of what kind, pray tell? First of all, they wanted the schedule for crystal shipments from the Nanawa mines. For this I bribed one of the workers to leak me the information. Next they wanted me to bring them people, so I posed as a priest to lure in the vulnerable and give them over to the Amalja. I didn't have a choice. Protecting one's home is a noble thing, but at the cost of innocence. You could have sought the aid of the immortal flames, yet you did not. I suspect you're not telling me the full story. What made you sell out your own people? Speak. The was good. What did you say? The coin was good, I said. I could sell mole meat for a score of lifetimes and not even see a fraction of what the Amalja pay me. You sacrificed innocence so that you could line your own pockets. Words fail to express the contempt I feel for you. Spare me your contempt. If you want to blame someone for the mess the world's in, then blame yourselves or the gods. Not you again. Were you the one leaking the immortal flames, patrol routes to the enemies as well? Spit it out. No, I know nothing about that, I swear. At this stage I'm rather disinclined to believe aught that leaves your mouth, but no matter, there'll be time enough to learn the truth. Be a dear and take word of the developments to Minfilia, would you? I shall prize everything I can out of this filth. The abductees are still somewhere out there. Our foremost priority is to rescue them. Welcome back. I'm pleased that you and Thancred have been getting along. I see, you've done well to uncover the truth. My thanks for the report. As Thancred said, we must ascertain where the abducted were taken, and none but the Emulsion know the answer. Suffice it to say, they will not willingly part with this information. I fear blood will be spilled before all is said and done. Though we seek a peaceful solution to the primal problem, we must needs be ready to fight for our cause. That you might take to the field suitably prepared, I would have you meet with a goblin acquaintance of mine. His name is Mutamix Bubblypops, and he's a scholar of no small repute. Mutamix is renowned for having introduced a revolutionary method of enhancing equipment to Eorzea. The knowledge of this method was once a closely guarded secret, but thanks to Mutamix and his students, it's now been disseminated to the great benefit of all the realm. It would serve you well to acquire an understanding of the process. For this purpose I shall lend you a blade. Take it to Mutamix and bid him to use it to demonstrate his craft to you. Mutamix is ever to be found at his camp in central Thanalan, a place known as the Bonfire. Look for a pillar of smoke and the way will become clear. Welcome back. I trust your visit to the Bonfire proved fruitful. Ah, what a remarkable difference a single piece of materia can make. Granted, the skills needed to manipulate the substance are not easily acquired, but one need only look upon the results to realise such efforts are worthwhile. As I'm sure you're aware, the quality of one's equipment can be the difference between victory and defeat. Materia may well give you the edge you need, so make it your ally. Now it's time we discuss the matter of your next mission. Pray speak with me when you're ready to begin. Word has arrived from Thancred concerning our ongoing investigation. It appears he was able to extract some information from our friend Ungust, the false priest. He revealed that he's due to meet with the Emulsion to discuss their dealings. The Immortal Flames believe that the meeting will present an ideal opportunity to ambush and capture the Emulsion responsible for the abductions, and so they mean to have Ungust attend as planned. As the Emulsion are anticipated to offer fierce resistance, the Immortal Flames have requested our support. I would have you provide it to them. Thancred is presently attending to another matter, but will join you as soon as he is able. Until such time as he does, you will be the Scion's sole representative on the ground. Before he left, he bade me tell you to save some for him, such is his confidence in you, a confidence I share. When you have made ready, pray take yourself to Camp Drybone and report to the Flame Sergeant leading the mission. May you walk in the light of the crystal. Ah, you're of the Scions. My thanks for coming, friend. We're stronger for your assistance. Allow me to brief you on our mission. Our objective is to capture Emulsion and prize from them the whereabouts of the abductees. The lizard men aren't aware that their man, Ungust, has been exposed. When they come to the rendezvous point to meet the traitor, we'll spring the trap. Owing to the clandestine nature of the mission, we can deploy only a small contingent. Every member must count, and so we requested the aid of the Scions. The rendezvous will take place at the Invisible City. Please make your way there and lie in wait. We stand to learn much and more of the Emulsion if the mission succeeds. Let's make sure it does. Is the bait in place? A man is in position, sir. Good. We make our move as soon as the Emulsion appear. Yes, sir. What's the meaning of this? Wait, something's amiss. I'm afraid your little ambush ends here. I eluded the Immortal Flame's clutches for moons before finally being caught. Did you not wonder how I managed it? 'Twas almost as if someone was feeding him information from the inside. Ah, your every movement was known to me ahead of time. Now, as much as I'd love to chat a while, I have appointments to keep. They're all yours. Put up your weapon or your comrades are dead, man. Behind you! Bring her. The rest of you, march. Traitorous scum. I fear the Amorja mean to give us to their god as an offering. If I must die, then let me die. A soldier's death, with steel in hand. Lord of the Inferno, hearken to our plea. O mighty Ifrit, Lord of the Inferno, your humble servants beseech you, grace us with your divine presence. O Ifrit, we bring before you ignorant savages who know not your godhead. Please you, Lord, scorch their heathen souls with your cleansing flame. Bloody hells. Bring those two as well. What's going on? This ain't what we agreed. None but servants of Lord Ifrit may behold the rite of summoning. The souls of unbelievers are forfeit. No, spare me, I beg you. Pitiful children of man, by my breath I claim you. Arise once more as my loyal minions, feed my flames with your fate, and all who stand against us shall burn. O mighty Ifrit, one true God. Your words are my bread. Impossible. By what sorcery do you resist my master's will? Could it be? Your soul already belongs to another. Yes, that's the only explanation. Forsooth, thy frail mortal frame can serve as vessel to the blessing of but one, yet I smell not the taint of another upon thee. Truth of thine allegiance waxeth clear, thou art of the godless blessed's number. The paragons warned of thine abhorrent kind, thine existence is not to be suffered. Pray forgive my lateness. I was delayed by a congregation of Amorja zealots. I swear, each seemed more evangelical than the last. Persistent, what? Phew. I see the Bloodsworn wasted no time extracting the captives, no less than I expect from the Flame General's hand-picked men. As for those two, it's fair to say their hardships have only just begun. They have much to answer for. I feel I owe you an apology. Had I known this mission would prove so dangerous, I would never have left you to face it alone. You've been given a veritable baptism of fire. But let us continue this conversation in more agreeable surrounds. Camp Drybone, shall we say? This way, sir. So that was the mighty Ifrit. And what a disappointment he was. The readings are nowhere near what I had anticipated, even taking Uldar interference into account. You should know better than to rely upon 5-year-old data left by the 7th Legion. Nor can we expect any form of support from the motherland, given the troubles at court. We have only ourselves to rely upon. Ever the pessimist, my dear Livia. Promise me you'll never change. We've wasted enough time here. That meter of yours is too old to give any reading worth a damn. Not that there was aught worth a damn for it to read, but I take your point. I suppose we must content ourselves with the knowledge that we've achieved our primary objective, yet I find that I am troubled by their adventurer's unexpected show of strength. Could such a foe prove a hindrance to our plans? Perhaps, but that is a consideration for another time. You've been given a task, that is your priority. I suggest you treat it as such. Fail to do as my lord commands, and I will spare him the trouble of punishing you. With allies like that, beware a woman in love. I shall need to be on my best behaviour. Ah, there you are. Come rest a while. You'll have no better opportunity. After witnessing their god's ignominious defeat, the Amalja will be less inclined to risk our wrath, for a time at least. Now where were we? Ah yes, I was in the process of apologising. I do hope you can forgive me. I arrived too late to be of any use, to you or the abductees. They may be whole of body, but the same cannot be said of their minds, for once a man is tempered. Ah, but it ill suits me to dwell on the negatives. Amidst all our misfortunes, there is still reason to rejoice. Ifrit is slain, and by your hand no less. That is the deed of no ordinary individual. Not that I ever thought you were ordinary. On the contrary, I have long suspected that you have the potential to shape the fate of this realm. What can I say? My fine eye for talent remains undimmed. Minfilia will be proud beyond all reckoning when she hears of your deeds. I trust you shan't object to my bearing the tidings to her. That way I can claim to have contributed something to this mission. You, meanwhile, have earned yourself a rest. Take some time to relax and return to the Waking Sands when you're good and ready. We can discuss matters in more detail then. Just don't take too long, will you? The realm's problems won't solve themselves. Ah, the triumphant hero returns. Thancred told us the news upon his arrival. He's presently in the Solar, giving a full report to Lady Minfilia. You should join them at once. Lady Minfilia is most eager to see you. My late arrival nearly cost her her life. I wasn't there when the Amalja took her prisoner, and I wasn't there when they served her to Ifrit. Yes, by some miracle she survived, but that does not excuse the fact that she should never have had to face the dangers alone. I failed her utterly, just as I'm failing you all. What's done is done, Thancred. You can ill blame yourself for every... It's good to see you again. Impeccable timing, my friend. I just finished regaling Minfilia with your heroic exploits. Thancred has told me everything. You've done well to return to us. The perils you faced were undeniably great, yet a part of me believes that I had no cause to fear, and now we can put pay to our long investigation. As we suspected, the Amalja undertook both the robbery and the abductions with the aim of summoning their primal Ifrit. Nor is this tale limited to Uldar. Similar incidents have been rife in both Limsa Lominsa and Gridania of late. I dare say you've been curious as to how these crimes are linked to the primals. Permit me to explain. Having manifested in the physical realm, primals must consume aether if they're to maintain their presence here, and the stronger they become, the more aether they require. Now, aether exists throughout creation. It flows through all life and permeates the very air that we breathe. Alas, this alone will not suffice to sustain the likes of Ifrit. Nay, he and his kind require a more concentrated source of aether, crystals. It's for this reason that incidents involving crystals can often be traced back to a primal. Which leaves us with the why of the abductions. To understand this, you must first understand how primals are born. When all is well with the world, primals possess no physical form. Their essence is dispersed across the great river of aether. However, when the world is plunged into chaos, those who worship the primals cry out to their gods for deliverance from suffering. These cries serve as a beacon toward which a primal's essence is irresistibly drawn. It is this coming together or etheric coalescence which grants the being's physical form. Once born, a primal gains strength from its followers' worship. The more numerous and fervent they are, the more powerful their god becomes. But the primals are seldom satisfied with such reverence as their adherents freely give, and in order to gain more power, they do not scruple to create followers. They do this by tempering mortals, a process to which you yourself were subjected. Yet even as Ifrit took your comrades in his thrall, you alone remained unaffected. This is thanks to the power you possess, the Echo. We know not the why of it, but those blessed with the Echo are immune to primal influence. It's as though a greater power protects us. When first you came to us, I told you that the Echo would be instrumental in dealing with the primal threat. I trust you now begin to see why. The recent incidents all share a common trait, meticulous planning. Such elaborate designs are a new development, and one which fills me with unshakable sense of foreboding. While I share your concern, my presiding feeling is one of relief at your safe return. The immortal flames assured me that they will deal with the aftermath, so you need not concern yourself with that. We may rest easy for a while. I suggest you take full advantage of the respite. You may be sure it won't last long. Once the people learn the identity of the hero who felled Ifrit, I fear you will have nary a moment to yourself. Whether she intended to or no, Minfilia neglected to tell you something I think would be best you heard from one of us. It concerns the tempered abductees that were rescued. I'm sorry to report that all are to be put to death, the flames with whom you were imprisoned included. Needless to say, this information must not be made known to the public. I swear to you that we would not do this if there were any other recourse, but once a man is tempered, he's tempered for life. His very existence lends strength to the primal whom he cannot choose but worship. And so we Scions continue our fight, that no more innocents need be sacrificed. I hope that you will continue to stand with us. But I should be going. I must offer my apologies to the Flame General for the losses his people suffered. Till next time. Gods forgive me, how many more lives? Louisoix would never have allowed this to happen. I have to do better. I have to be stronger.